I can hear you now. It's working. Sometimes it does weird stuff, and you have to leave and come back. And
Yeah. Is there supposed to be a visual?
no, there's no visual.
Okay, okay. All right, okay.
Yeah. I'm for this season. I wanted to do something different. Um,
Ooh.
I'm experimenting with social media algorithms,
Mm.
and like a lot of places don't like links. So Facebook does not like an outside link, and
Hates
actually, no media does.
nah, yeah.
So I thought, well, what if because you get the most Twitter, even though it's changed a lot, still has the most like real world activity from the site.
Yeah.
Like people will go and do stuff. You can mobilize them.
Right.
And Facebook, you get very little response into a real world action. And
Yes.
so I thought, well, what if I just record them on Twitter and then move them to YouTube later? And so that's what I want to do. But it's actually been kind of annoying because it's too wilderness, and so I can't like find the recordings easily. I have to
Yeah.
request to get the recording to download. So,
Oh my.
but we're at 25, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe I'm only going to do 100 episodes ever,
Why?
and so we're one quarter of the way through, and I wanted you to be number 25 episode on Evening Magic.
Okay. Thank you so much. I have some follow-up questions. The first is why only 100?
I could go on forever in
Yeah.
perpetuity, but I want to do other things. I
Yeah.
kind of was just doing it, you know, just because I felt like interviewing some people.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the idea of maybe making some content. You know, when I put a book out, then people can just start Googling me, and then they'll just kind of be surprised by all this free content that I have.
I like that idea. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it too.
Also, I'm a fan of Evening Magic, so I would love to see it go on forever, but I get it.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
cool. Oh, and
Yeah.
another thing that's disappointing with Evening Magic is when I do a visual interview, which
Yeah.
I was very satisfied with what I call season two, which was episodes
Yeah.
11 through 20. I liked it going back and forth.
Yeah.
Um, and I kind of, was not as subconscious. I can't look at the person when I'm talking to them, and I don't necessarily want to revisit the conversation and look at them after I've recorded it. So it's kind of like just staring into a ring light for an hour.
Right. Yeah, that probably is not good for the eyes.
Right. So,
Um,
but I do think for season three, I'm going to just do Zoom on my phone and
okay.
just kind of set it up anywhere and talk to somebody. Just I want it to be as easy as possible.
I like that. I like that. It's a
Um,
good idea.
right.
Yes.
I like things to be easy and fun. I want minimum effort, maximum result.
Yes, that's all.
That's
You know,
actually how Scott Adams did Dilbert. He was looking for a get rich quick scheme, and he always had different ones,
oh,
and Dilbert was one of them.
and I love Dilbert. Like
Hmm.
I was way too into it for like a 10-year-old boy. Like I had no idea about like corporate culture or any of that. I was like, this is great. I don't know why it connected, but it did. So we're all just trying to be Scott, you know? That's the goal. Just be Scott.
Just 30 minutes a day. It's nice and
Yeah.
relaxing. And
Yeah.
then, but he, it was wise of him to do that because he's had such weird neurological things.
Hmm.
And, with greatness comes madness.
Yeah.
And I always read his books and then I give them away. Like I never want to return to them.
Hmm.
But one of them he detailed it was how to win at almost anything or how to fail at almost anything and still win big. And
That's Scott Adams?
yeah, that's Scott Adams.
Wow.
And he got like a he developed an issue with his um nerves in his hand and he couldn't um draw. Like it was too shaky to draw.
Yeah.
And so he started training himself to be able to hold the pencil on the paper
Hmm.
until he could do it for a minute. And then he would just draw for a minute and continue. And then technology progressed such that he was doing digital, and then that kind of eliminated the problems that he had.
Whoa.
Then he developed an issue with speaking. and it was like hyperphonic dysphagia. Have you heard of this?
No.
Well, you have heard people with it. Susan
Okay.
Collins of Maine, she has it,
Okay.
and 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 R.F. Kennedy Jr. has it.
Oh, I heard of. Okay, so yes. I knew he had it. Um, I just have to say, like, to any listeners, like current and later, only Robert McCready could get me on Twitter again. This is how much I love you, Robert. I was literally thinking about this last night. Like, I don't, I don't know how to express. It wasn't quite like it's not. It wasn't love at first sight because I can't remember the first time I saw you, but early into our first knowing of each other, I was like, I have to know this person for the rest of my life. I love this person unconditionally. Like, and for a long time, part of my career trajectory was like, I'd pray, dear God, please just make me enough money so that Robert McCready doesn't have to like do anything he doesn't want to do because he's a genius and we don't deserve him. So whatever, however, I can become a millionaire and take care of Robert McCready, please give me these abilities. Yeah, so thank you. I love you.
Well, I love you too, and I have always felt that love from you. You've always had a smile, and even through your tribulations, you've always been a positive force in humanity. So I've always enjoyed
Right.
that. So yeah, so then Robert F. Kennedy has had a treatment according to Scott Adams,
Okay.
but he has not had the treatment that Scott
Mm,
Adams had that cured him.
wow.
And it's very hard to Google the treatment because Botox has taken over the results, and the main treatment is a Botox shot. The,
Botox seems to solve a lot of things. Like I
it,
know folks who take it for migraines.
yeah, people do that, yeah, but it doesn't solve it permanently. And so
Right.
what Scott Adams had, they severed the nerves, some kind of nerves in his face, and then they grow back over a period of time, and
Mm.
then you can speak normally.
Oh my God.
And that's what he had. And so Scott Adams has had a lot of weird nerve things, and I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's because he's smart. He also smokes pot every day,
Okay.
and he's one of those people that can do it. Now, a lot of people are like, so and so smokes pot every day, and they become losers. But they're like
True though.
it's like
It's true.
right. You can see it's like in our community of writers. Well, Charles
Yeah.
Bukowski drank a lot of alcohol. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's one Charles Bukowski.
exactly. The rest of them are losers.
Right. Or
It's
unpublished.
or unpublished. And I especially see this with weed. It's like, well, so and so, and I'm looking at my cousin like, but you're not so and so, right? Like, so you should probably put the bong down.
Always good to shoot for normal.
Yeah.
It, let's just do the minimum, and
Let's-
and see if we can make that work, and then maybe we can add something and see how it changes.
yes, there we go. Let's start at normal.
It's kind of
So many pot smokers just like, well, so and so, well, so and so. Oh my God. Like, but you're not them. Oh,
right. Yeah, I feel the same way, and also there are so many nerve things going on with Scott, and maybe they were caused by his pot. Who knows?
right.
But
We know.
we don't know. But he's high functioning, and all these microdosers in Silicon Valley, they're very rich and they're microdosing. Let them do their
That's
thing.
right. That's right.
You working at Trader Joe's probably shouldn't be microdosing.
Exactly. Like, don't, it's a false equivalency. Yes. Yeah.
It's like the weird. It's like correlations.
Yes.
Um, like scientists show that people who exercise are less depressed. Yeah, because the depressed people don't feel like doing anything.
Exactly. Yes. Correlation is not causation.
But speaking of,
Yeah.
when you had a little experimentation several years ago, I asked lots of questions. Do you mind talking about this in the space?
I I came into the space knowing that I was going to come in the same way I come into our actual relationship, and I will say I will answer any question you have. Yes.
Uh, okay, well, remember when you did shrooms for the first
Yes.
time?
Yes.
I
Right.
I think that you have had the best description of it out of anybody that does
Mhm.
shrooms.
Yeah.
And since then, I've become friends with another interviewer in Charleston,
Mhm.
and he will never do shrooms again. But he
Oh.
says that he he's never had a bad experience and he loves them. And the reason he won't is because a friend of his did them so often that eventually it changed his belief system
Oh.
about life, and he, you know, and you don't have control when that happens. But when you
Mm.
described doing it, you were talking about the things that you could see and the things that you could hear. Um, and since then, I've been curious about the spiritual implications of psychedelics, and I wrote about it just a little.
Okay.
Um, and it became just cautionary. I was interested in DMT
Okay. Yeah.
because everybody, like Mike Tyson's, like it makes you love everybody, and then everybody has the same experience.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
scared.
right. Well, I was scared but interested. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah. Same. Yes.
And I mean, I was very curious. Like, who do I know that can get me some of this? But then I started googling that there was what the downsides were, and I
What are?
could not find a downside.
Oh, that's weird.
It is,
Not a
which in itself is a downside. It's
Yeah,
like,
that feels like a conspiracy.
right? Like, why did y'all? So so what I read about DMT, it was in a review of Tao Lin's book Leaf Society.
Mhm.
I say we know downsides um, of other drugs, even marijuana. The guy
Mhm.
that ate the man's face in Florida, he
Mhm.
only had THC in his system.
Oh my God. It
They
wasn't
said,
bad.
right, they were like, it's bath salts, it's bath salts, but he only had THC in his system.
Oh.
So that's a downside, but we can't find one for DMT. So I said, let this be your lone downside for DMT, is what I had said, that there wasn't one. But
Mm.
since then, I had another friend, and they were doing shrooms. It was a couple of weekends ago, and I said, and I went to for her birthday party, and they had done it the night before, and I said, "Did you have a great experience? Did you have any great experiences?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Tell them to me." I was hoping for like a detailed spiritual experience.
Yeah.
So it was like this: Did you have a great experience? Yeah. What was it? I rolled around in the sand on the beach.
The end.
And so it's more like these physical experiences you do. So then I asked another friend who's very literate in drug use,
Yeah.
and I said, "Would people?" I told him just what I told you, and he said, "Well, actually, the experience is like being in a dream, and
Hmm.
so we when we have dreams, we're fascinated by our dreams, and we
Yeah.
want to tell other people, but they are never fascinated."
I see. I see. That's that tracks. Yes, that's real. Yeah.
Right. And so then I was like, okay, okay, I get it now. So that was
I rolled
that.
around in the sand. Okay.
Right. I was waiting for like, and then my mind opened and I realized I was waiting for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or like that time Julia Clement told us that she could see air.
Right.
I was like, oh
Waiting.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to see that, you know. I didn't know I wanted to see that, but now I want to.
Absolutely. That reminds me. I owe her a message. I need to text her or something and say thank you for something. Yeah, just this week, she once told me this story about. I was like really nervous about teaching. This is are we are tangents okay
Oh yeah,
for?
perfect.
Okay, so I had and I hope none of my students are listening. I had to prep for a class, and I hadn't done it, so I scribbled some things down on a post-it note and went into class. And then I remembered one of my first semesters teaching at Coker College. I was stressed out, and Julia like sauntered. She's a saunterer,
Hmm.
and she sauntered over, and she's like, that doesn't get easier, but you get better. Like it used to be like me stressing for like hours about how to get a class ready or to get it like situated. And then it would get to a place where like now I just write down what I'm going to do on a post-it note and I can walk in. You get better. You have more tools in the toolbox. And so that happened this week. So I need to send her a message, just say, hey, thank you. Like it's true. Like I just scribbled some stuff on a post note and I was able to do the thing for an hour and 15 minutes. She's right.
Excellent.
Yeah. Shout out Julia Clement, seeing air, teaching people life lessons. She's great.
She was totally great for the teaching of the life lessons and the insights into things. I remember one time we were listening to her. It was when we were both like teaching or working there in some capacity, and there was they interviewed somebody, and she gave her take on racism in America, which was unusual because for people listening, she's a German immigrant.
Yeah.
And she said, Americans have this anxiety. And I remember the way she said the word anxiety, she showed all of her teeth. And she put them on edge. And I thought no one has ever described it that way. And I liked it.
Yeah. We have all this anxiety.
Yeah.
She really doesn't seem like an anxious person. I know she gets anxiety, but she doesn't show it, not in the classic American sense.
No.
Yeah.
You know, years ago, Mila and I wrote a haiku for her.
Oh.
Did you ever know it? The haiku?
No. What is the haiku?
She wears a black shirt, matching a pair of black pants. Not black shoes, no, red.
Damn. That's great. That's a great haiku.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, we saw her walk one day. She's wearing all these black and these red shoes, and that's when no one was doing that. It was 2005.
Wow.
And that's basically the only thing that I wear now because it's cool. But
yeah.
Recently I saw that it was George Santos in New York. That guy. Have you heard of him?
Oh yeah.
Have you heard of him? He was wearing all black suit, and he had red shoes on. And I posted them on her wall on Facebook, and she was like, "Nice."
She's a trendsetter,
right? You know, and I saw her like at an art show a couple of years ago, and she pointed to her shoes and said, "Red shoes." Like it's happened forever now.
Yeah, red shoes.
It's cool. I wish she was still writing poems. I go back to her poems. I look for them like on Shark Reef and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she was doing stuff that people wish they were doing now.
She was amazing.
I
need to reach out. Yeah, I need
to put on some new shoes, man. I'm just your good time girl. Like it's just look, I'm not your wife always harassing you, but get you some new shoes.
Some new shoes. And also shout out to Mila, who like you two are together, it's magic. It is true magic. Like, wow, the creative genius of your like. It's really unfortunate that like Hollywood hasn't taken notice and given you both like just permission to write a show.
Well, like you have to get involved. You have to get trafficked for that to happen. So yeah, I used to think like, you know, it seemed like anybody could just break through, and you really can't break through. I mean, you've got the who was it that came out and said he was the actor and he's bald. He's a black guy, and he said someone made a pass at him.
Oh, Terry Crews?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe it all because I kind of discovered it before the Me Too broke through.
You did. You really did. You had suspicions.
Yes. I'm so glad we talked about it before it happened because now there's validation. And it was when I was watching Californication, they put that clue into the show where David Duchovny sleeps with the TV chef. And and he took her back to her house, and he's like, "Why are you doing this?" She goes, "Well, I've got to if I want to be famous."
Wow! Like there it is, like just so casual, like in this storyline. Must be a thing.
And Showtime has been a little bit of a it sticks out. It doesn't go with the flow. It's not also, it doesn't have the dazzle of Max or HBO Max or HBO. It's kind of like a thing that's kind of a disruptor.
They are Showtime. Like the shows they have greenlit are odd. Like HBO has like even through its like disparate types of storytelling, it has like a HBO feel to it.
Hmm.
But like Showtime, you don't know what they're about to do. Like you can't totally predict, and they like take chances. Like what I think there's a blind spotting TV show like based on the movie that's on
Hmm.
Showtime, and I was like, no one would have said yes to that, but Showtime. Like that's only them to give a series to like a fledgling indie film, like an entire a series based on a movie that most people have not seen. That's a Showtime move.
Right. Even Weeds, it started off as like an hour-long show,
Yeah.
and then it went to 30 minutes, and it kind of like jumps the shark with the storyline.
Mhm.
It just feels organic, and even though it's kind of a mess and it might not be easy for everyone to watch, I
Yeah.
like it because I feel like I'm seeing people do some cool stuff.
Yep. Absolutely. Also, we should get the credit. Like, everybody's like Breaking Bad, Breaking Bad. Weeds did a lot of stuff before Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Narratively, yeah. I
how
feel like
so?
I like people will like love Walter White, but I feel like the main character from Weeds was Walter White before Walter White. Um, just a suburbanite kind of taking over the drug world. I was like, okay, Weeds did it. Like, I don't know if there's a new ground here.
Right.
And there's Showtime again, just taking the chances.
There was also a good show on Showtime, and it was they documented people's final moments in this world. They terminally ill people, and it was a short series, and it's had one like main family that they kind of was in every single episode, and then every episode had a different person that was passing away, and it
Wow,
was very powerful.
that is amazing.
Yeah, it was edgy and just really cool. Like no one else would be able to do that. I forget what it's called. Like it came out in 2012, somewhere around there.
I need
Um,
to go through Showtime's back catalog.
right, because who knows what we could find there. Lots of
It's
interesting things.
a lot of precursors.
Right. So that's really cool. But you're doing the silent book reviews, which is something unusual. Is it on TikTok or is it just on Facebook?
So I'm glad you brought this up so I can finally say once and for all, I invented this trend. I'm pretty sure. Like, so yeah, I'm doing it. I started on TikTok and Instagram, and then I saw this article in Forbes that was like silent book reviews takes over, and like all of a sudden, so I was on TikTok, I was doing these silent book reviews. They weren't getting the traction I thought like they would, and then I left for a few months.
Mm-hmm.
Then I came back, and it was like this trend with like millions of people doing it. And this Forbes article found this person who claims that they did the first one in like October
Mm-hmm.
of 2023. And I was like, no, I started in September. So then I started thinking, what if I actually invented
I
this
think you did.
viral trend? Um, so I don't know. Like it might be mine. Yeah. So all this to say, thank you for providing me a platform with which to say definitively, I think I might have made this.
I think you did too, and I think
Thanks.
that all they did was this is what the government does.
This is what
This is what they do. They
this is
think
what they do.
they don't invent anything. It's like, oh, seatbelts in cars. Let's make that
Yeah.
a permanent feature.
Yeah.
Oh, kill switch in cars. Let's make that a permanent switcher. In 2025, all cars produced in the United States of America will have a kill switch, unquote
That's
unquote. Um,
pretty
if
wild.
you Google that, they'll say there's no kill switch. There's just the technology to shut it off. So, but all they did, but someone else invented that, and
I
then
see.
they took it over. So they saw you do that, and they thought, "Oh, this is great. Hmm,
Hmm.
he's not marching to the beat of our drum. Let's
That's
find
right.
an influencer who will.
Right.
who's that guy with the long nails and a dress that came to see Biden? Let's have him do silent book reviews. That's why, and then that was that. That's how they stole it.
And that's how it happened. So
Yep.
now I came back, and now it's also super suspicious. My last few silent book reviews were like under 1,000, and I thought, well, that's strange. So I don't know. I just thought, oh, maybe the algorithm is off. It's also been a super interesting experience because publishing is weird, and sometimes it startles me. I'm like confronted with like how siloed different aspects of publishing are. And so like I did a silent book review, and then someone in the comments just wrote back, I have literally never heard of any of these books. And I had to pause, and I was like, whoa, like, because these are like, oh, these are pretty big literary books. But then I clicked the silent book reviews hashtag, which I probably invented, trademark Donald Quist. And I see a bunch of books in like horror and romance and genre that I have never heard. So it's just kind of fascinating to me how like you could be at the top of your field in anything and still a complete like stranger or like a unknown to other people. Like I sometimes I sit and I think like, oh my God, like whenever I'm at like a AWP, the Association for Writers and Writing Programs, and I'm seeing people follow other people around, they're like, oh my God, that's so and so. I often think, yeah, but there are so many people who don't know who that is.
Right.
And so like the silent book reviews has turned out to be something that was hugely, it helps keep me humble, or like it helps keep me like connect. I think if I continue doing it, it'll be to remind myself consistently, like there's stuff bigger than the art that I've dedicated my life to. And that could sound depressing for other people, but for me, I think that's good. Like it like gives me perspective. Yeah, and it prevents me from being an ass, I think.
I like that. I think about that also, and
Mhm.
it's probably we kind of grew up in a time when people just kind of made it think that you could become rich and famous easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, every single person they interviewed that were our icons would say, "Just believe in your dream and it'll happen." That's what they said.
Yeah, that's what they said.
They did not say how many blowjobs they had to give to get there. You know, I mean,
I was it's so true. I was because I love RuPaul. And Ru does that a lot. Like, just like believe. Like just show up and stuff happens. But I'm also remembering like a lot of these folks are coming up, a lot of our idols were coming up at a time where there was like 17 people doing cool stuff in New York.
right.
Like of course you all made it together. There was like 28 of you, and like
I thought the same thing.
yeah,
like of course Truman Capote knew Tennessee Williams.
yes,
Everyone else was homeless.
everyone else was homeless, Robert. And so
or they had a big middle class thing. So if there were a couple people doing cool stuff and everybody else was middle class,
that's right.
then
Of course.
you got like a huge. I've actually been thinking about. I don't want to get on that tangent yet, but finish what you were saying.
No, but like yeah, so everyone else is middle class. There's like 5 people doing something cool, of course. Also, way fewer dicks to suck. Like, it's just fewer. They're fewer. So it's like
you could make it happen. You could literally make it happen.
Like, do you know how many I'd have to like?
Oh my God.
It's so different now because of the access, because of the way everyone, just the amount of people and the amount of dreams. Now it's like, well, I'm gonna have to go down on this person, this person, this person, this person, this person to even get a shot at what someone like RuPaul had. Like it's just no, I don't know. The stakes are different. Yeah.
Yeah, I've thought the exact same things. Now that we are at the age where we can like see the way the world actually works,
Right.
and it's like, oh, this person's charming. Let's give them fame and riches. Like, that's not the. Why do we think that could happen?
Yeah.
Um, but and the algorithm, there was a lot of charm that could go a long way when YouTube first started, like in 2006.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was going viral every week before viral was a word. I got
You
on
were.
Bob and Sherry's show to talk about a video that I made, but
That's right.
then they realized they could monetize it, and then that was that.
So true.
I should have
I
stayed on the bandwagon.
Yeah, I really saw like in a different timeline, you became a huge YouTube star. Like huge.
But I
um
gave up. I was like, this isn't making any money. I need to go work at the Bath and Body Works.
that's right. So like if you know like those YouTube stars that really like ended up sticking with it and like getting huge, they had like a patron of some kind. Like they had rich parents or something. Like that was the only way to stick around that long, I think, is like to have had some type of like financial security before you could even do it. Um,
Right.
I remember that girl who used to, oh, we like were both Tumblr famous at the same time, but then I had to get a job and she continued. But her thing, I think her name was Hannah, and her thing was getting drunk and cooking in a kitchen.
Oh wow.
And so, like, last I saw her, she was like on Ellen for a little while. Um, but then I think she got taken out because of saying something wrong. I can't
Mm.
remember exactly what it was, but I remember thinking like, "Well, how is she doing this?" And then it turned out like her parents were helping to fund those drunken cooking videos. Yeah, I think it was called My Drunk Kitchen. Yeah, so dear listener,
Interesting.
look that up. Yeah,
That's interesting. The Another thing about New York, you had Times Square where all the middle class people had to travel through. So you could put something on a billboard and then middle class people would see it.
right.
Then you had 8 million people that was a big portion of the country at the time that would be interested in something at the same time.
Right.
And then you could also do it in Los Angeles and have another 8 million or more people be interested in the same thing at the same time. And you could
Mm.
have people like Nora Ephron then talk about how we all did this
Yes.
because all of her friends were doing it.
Right.
Now you kind of have to look at trends on
Hmm.
social media to find out what we're all doing. This is another clever thing too that um, the powers that be did. The New York Times, you could take a New Yorker and move them to Santa Fe or somewhere else, and they would still read the New York Times and then know what was happening back in New York, and so you kind of spread it
Hmm.
through a neighborly situation.
Yeah.
But
We'll
now
never.
it's broken.
Yeah, it's all broken. We'll never have that again. There was a theorist talking about this. Maybe it wasn't theorist. It was in this okay, I have it in front of me actually. It was in this book called Comedy Book. Who wrote this comedy book? Jesse David Fox. And in this book, one of the chapters is talking about how like basically mass media is broken and now it's segmented. And so we'll never have a cultural moment that's totally ubiquitous again. So like
Hmm.
the example he likes to use is the fact that the series finale of Seinfeld was comparable to a Super Bowl.
Hmm.
It had like millions upon millions of people watching it. Even folks who weren't fans of Seinfeld watched it because you had like four channels, um, and it's what everyone was doing. We don't have cultural touchstones that are that big anymore. I think the last example would have been like one of the Marvel movies, but even that, like, it doesn't carry the same way. And so, yeah, we're kind of, and because we don't have like these cultural touchstones specifically in the West, I don't know if we can relate with each other as well as we did before. There's
And we got
no what?
we got rid of our individual artists that might have been
Yeah,
able to do it, like Woody Allen.
exactly. Yes. Like, oh, I miss Woody Allen.
I do too.
Yeah, like I love Manhattan. You know, I love Annie Hall. Like, I even like the Lady Killers. Like, I like it so. Ah,
Did you see Another Woman with Jenna Rollins?
no, I'm gonna put it
It's
down.
fantastic, and
Yeah.
it gets a little metaphysical, just a little.
Okay.
And Jenna Rollins had been in that movie Gloria, where she was running around New York City trying to protect this kid that survived a mafia hit.
Yeah.
And
Huh.
this movie is her running around New York trying to figure out herself. Trying to
Okay.
is it existential is the word I was looking, not metaphysical. She's existential.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, it was like only an hour and 17 minutes long. It was fantastic.
Okay. Like, and that's another thing. He's making these movies. His recent movies have been like an appropriate length. I'm getting kind of tired of the 3 hour affair. Like,
Can't do it.
I can't, like, there's no time. Like, can you please just
We
tell
need
me the
90
story?
minutes.
Yes. Like, just get it done. Um, oh my God. A Rainy Day in New York. That movie was good. It's Timothy Chalamet and Selena Gomez and Elle Fanning. Again, just running around New York trying to figure themselves out. Um, Hour and 32 minutes. Chef's kiss.
That's excellent. Hey, I got a person who wants to speak. I'm gonna let him ask a
Yeah,
question,
sure.
and then let's see. Hey, I'm approving your request to speak, um, and then I'll probably mute you so we can finish the little thing. You have a permission to ask a question if you want to participate.
I get a guess that you're just talking about movies, I guess.
Just
Oh,
anything. This is kind
yeah.
of going to be a podcast later. This is my friend Donnie.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Doing good. Did you have
So
a question?
what's the subject you're talking about? Like, what's the gist of the conversation?
So where
I've
we are currently is just talking about the lack of cultural touchstones. I see in your on your profile you have Palpatine here.
Yeah, Star Wars is my religion, so
Okay, there we go. All right.
I mean, when I say it is my religion, it is pretty much is my religion.
Okay, all right. So I guess I could I could ask you a question. I'm
Okay, shoot,
curious.
I love answering questions.
Okay. So I am curious because like in the last, you know, of the Star Wars, like I don't know what you call that recent trilogy. Do we have a name for
The
the recent trilogy?
sequels?
The sequels, yes. Palpatine was brought back, right?
Yeah, he was.
Okay. How
So
did you
what's the
feel?
question?
How did you feel about that?
It was lazy because the whole sequel trilogy is a mess because what happened is that they hired J.J. Abrams because they thought he was going to be a safe director, given the fact of how he did with Star Trek.
Yep.
He did a lot of repeats of the old fan stuff from Star Trek. Star Trek fans were pretty happy with him. He was a safe bet. The problem with that, though, is that the Star Wars community was split pretty much down the middle about J.J. Abrams. They complained it was too much fan fiction, too much fanfare. It was not original. It was a rehash of The New Hope, which is typical of J.J. Abrams. I mean, he redid Star Trek by reversing the Wrath of Khan. No, the Search for Spock. Sorry.
Mm.
And so people were upset. So Disney was like, well, we're gonna have to change course here and hire someone to do a different movie, which the fans would be happy with, and that's how Rian Johnson got involved. And he was relatively not a well-known director. He was pretty much only known for Looper, which was an interesting sci-fi movie. Was it great? Nah, not really. So what happened though is that his point of why he was hired was to make a movie that was not your atypical Star Wars movie that subvert, your expectations, and that's exactly what he did. Now, did he do it in a clever and a good way? Absolutely fucking not. He destroyed a lot of stuff, making fun of Luke and the Mary Poppins, Princess Leia, the awkward conversation between Han and Leia, and there was a bunch of and Rose and saving Finn. It was all a joke. It was a mess. Now, the cinematography was great. There was some great good points to it. I kind of liked the Reylo relationship, but the entire movie was kind of a mess because he really didn't understand what Star Wars is about. And that's kind of what's happening with a lot of these directors for Disney, is that they're not real Star Wars fans. They don't have George Lucas going, that's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. You need to rewrite this and redo this and all this kind of stuff. And it's become a mess. And then what happened with Episode 9 is that Disney was like, oh shit, The Last Jedi was a disaster. It was a huge flop. It destroyed the franchise. And Solo suffered as a result of that as well. So they hired J.J. Abrams back, and then Abrams had to spend an hour and a half of The Rise of Skywalker retconning all the stupid mistakes that Rian Johnson did, which then totally ruined the movie because there was no movie. I mean, basically, it was just forced retconning and reversing things, which made the whole entire trilogy an entire mess. And it's not good. So.
So you think they've destroyed that touchstone?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you think that they destroyed that touchstone for Americans or the world even?
Not necessarily. It depends on how they fix it, because a lot of the Star Wars fans were upset with the prequels when 1, 2, and 3 came out, and there was a lot of fan backlash on that, and I was one of them, until, they started adding things like the Clone Wars and Rebels, and building out the world. And now that we've spent time digesting it, getting over it, looking at it, a lot of people reverse course on what they think of the prequels. They love the prequels now, and a lot of the people hated them back then. So the same might happen with the sequels, if Disney finds a way of fixing the entire trilogy, or just rebooting it entirely, which there's a lot of rumor that's going to happen. Whether or not that's going to happen is highly probably not going to happen. But the Ahsoka show does kind of point in that direction. So it's hard to tell. I just think that they really need to get away from the wokeness. And, I'm not entirely anti-woke. I think that, morals and ethics and storytelling and social, contextual stories and all that kind of stuff is important. But putting in there just for the sake of being woke, that kind of downwaters the entire thing. So it's a delicate balance. And I'm looking towards Star Wars Acolyte, and I hope that that's what they do. They go with a more adult tone, a more darker, more realistic tone, and cut out some of the silliness that has happened. Now, if you look at the Andor series is fucking primo, absolutely fantastic. From the writing to the dialogue, to the stories, to the speeches, to the action, everything about it is really well done. Because Tony Gilroy spent a lot of time dedicating himself to making it right, to building sets, to making it look real and feel real, spending the time to actually write a good story, and more importantly, good dialogue. There are 4 amazing, great speeches in Andor. Lutherans being one of the best ones, Kino is being another one. And so if they take that whole aspect of Andor and go in that direction, I think Star Wars can be fucking fantastic again. If they go towards the sequel kind of, Kathleen Kennedy and the wokeness, it's just going to go downhill. So it really depends on what direction they take. And the fact that Dave Filoni, who I highly admire and respect because he is the next best thing to George Lucas. He was George Lucas's right-hand man during the Clone Wars and Rebels. He learned a lot from George Lucas and took a lot of that lore from him. So I consider him to be the next best lore master next to George Lucas. So he has now stepped in the role at Lucasfilm as an executive director, pushing out Kathleen Kennedy and having creative rights. So if we can remove Kathleen Kennedy in the Disney aspect and focus on the Star Wars, I think they could fix it and be better. So, yes.
Thank you so much for that, and I definitely agree with the Kathleen Kennedy stuff. I think even South Park kind of made that change happen when they were what was it? What was Cartman doing? He was make him gay and boring.
Yeah. So what did they call it? It was the Pandaverse.
Yeah, the Pandaverse. Yeah,
the Pandaverse. Yeah.
Make him gay and boring, or gay and dumb. And I thought that was funny and helpful. Going back to AWP, how was AWP this year?
AWP was pretty good. It just on a personal note, I was super anxious about it because it was in Kansas City and I teach at the University of Missouri, and so like it felt like helping to throw a really nice party, like a really big party, and you're like going around making sure everybody's drink is topped off and stuff, and like, making sure they feel like, do you like the cheese, or are the crackers okay? It just feels like I felt like I never got a chance to rest. So it was good. One of the things I do love about AWP is like I don't know how a night's going to end, or like when I start the day, I don't know where I'm going to end up. And so one of those nights I ended up like at a karaoke bar for like 2, and that was awesome. I ended up singing karaoke and I wasn't even drunk. So that was great.
What song did you sing?
I sang 3 songs actually. So, I sang Weezer's Say It Ain't So. I did Sugar We're Going Down Swinging from Fall Out Boy, and then I ended up doing The Killer's Mr. Brightside. I'm told all different tunes and tones. And it was told to me that night that, oh, Donald, you're a tenor, and I didn't know that. So that's good. Yeah. And then the other night ended with us at I was at a warehouse where there was this like off-site party that was very strange. It looked like it was decorated by a 14-year-old billionaire. And we're just like, there was a cat in the room and like Playmobil toys and cubbies. And it just felt like we totally shouldn't have been there. It was a weird experience. Also, like it was very funny because this warehouse was totally not ADA friendly. And I don't know, people are funny. And then like at one point Ying Yang Twins was played. So like you just have this large group of people who otherwise are super like progressive and like in the way they model themselves, but we're here at this party. If you're in a wheelchair, you can't fucking get in. and people are screaming till the sweat drops down my balls. It was like, Lord, these females crawl, like in chorus. And I was like, you're funny, we're very funny. Humans are super funny.
I love that. I like it. People could just let their hair down a little bit, like the good old days.
Exactly. Oh, also, I'd be remiss. I want to thank our guest for speaking on a lot of those topics, and I should give a shout out to Dr. Rhonda Knight because she and I put together that book about wilderness texts and about like transmedia storytelling and a lot of the topics that he just spoke on, specifically with franchise storytelling. So shout out to Rhonda Knight. And yeah, our book, Who Makes the Franchises, about like fandom control. So if she's listening, thank you, Rhonda.
That's interesting about the fandom control and stuff. You know, I was actually watching Truman versus the Swans the other day, and they had James Baldwin on the episode, but he sounded like, oh, hang on, my connection is messed up.
Okay.
Can you hear me now? My connection's lost a
you.
little bit. They had James Baldwin on an episode of Truman versus the Swans. It's the new Feud series.
I have never heard of this. Truman versus the Swans.
Have you heard of Feud? By it's the guy
Oh
that did
yeah,
American Horror
that's
Story,
right.
Ryan
Yeah,
Murphy.
Ryan Murphy. I just how could someone have this many stories?
Oh man, my connection's messed up.
I can hear you. Do you not?
Hey Donnie, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. You've never cut out, but I guess you can't hear me at times.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Hey Donnie, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Crap.
Can you not hear yourself?
Okay, I'm gonna try to exit and come back, and I think it'll be fine.
Here we go.
Or maybe it won't. Okay, let me try. Hello.
I hear you. Mic check. Hot mic.
You can hear me? Okay, I can't hear you.
Yeah, that's weird.
So James Baldwin showed up, and he sounded just like anybody would sound today talking to Truman Capote about the struggles that they were both going through. And I was talking to my friend I was watching with, and I said, this is new. This is nothing that they would have said back then. This is new talk. And I realized they had to do that to satisfy the fandom.
Yeah, this is not to my knowledge.
Here. I'm gonna exit the room and then I'm gonna come. Okay. I'll make a new one again, and it'll just be another recording.
Okay. Yeah.
I think
this call is now being recorded.
This is cool. I didn't know you could do this.
Yeah, and it makes a little PDF, or it makes a whatever file that it'll save for you, so you can retrieve it later.
Oh my God, I might do this for other podcast projects. I did not know you could do this.
Yeah, I'm glad that I can share it with you. My friend Paul Leslie, he told me about it. He said it's only failed him once.
Okay.
So
once is pretty good.
Shemaiah was listening to us a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that. So you two know each other, which is so wild. Like, actually, how do you two know each other?
From X.
That's incredible. Like, yeah. So, I'm a fan of hers, also from social media through Instagram, and now we're going to be working together on a project. So yeah, it's just a small world. Yeah, she's so cool.
Yeah, she is super cool, and doing interesting things, and yeah, I've enjoyed talking to her and hearing her perspective on things. And I remember asking, she was talking about how great her husband was when I interviewed her, and she just went on and on about how great he was, and he lets her do this and that. And I've heard other women say this too, and I asked her, I said, I kind of just want to know, when I hear someone go on like this, you know, like he seems like he does everything. Like he cooks, he sends her on trips. And so I said, what do you bring to the relationship? And I didn't mean it in every way, but it kind of was wanting like, why are you great? But now I think it's just obvious. Sometimes you just want to be around a person that lets you be you. Like she goes to bed at 7:30, so then he has to run to the house with the boys, and they watch movies and stuff, and she's happy, and And also, I've been watching Kevin Samuel. Do you ever see him on Reels?
No.
He's a life coach out of Atlanta.
Okay.
And he life coaches people. He's a black guy, and he life coaches a lot of black clientele.
Yeah.
And he usually starts arguing with black women that'll like come onto his shows, his live shows, and they're like, "I deserve a man," and he goes, "Okay, well, why do you deserve a man?" "Because I'm fine." And he goes, "Well, what's your dress size?"
Oh
and
my
he
God.
says,
Wait, I know
how
this guy
tall
now.
are you?
I know him.
Yes. And so, but after watching him, I see what Shemaya brings to the relationship. And I think that we have just been so inundated with like crazy stuff about what relationships are and should be.
Yeah.
Of course, a man who makes a lot of money wants a wife that's not going to have a job that takes her away and gives him kids and is happy all the time. Of course, that's what a man wants. Like, why would, that was a stupid question for me to even ask Shemaya, because now I know that, she doesn't have to do anything. Because, like, a woman making a lot of money isn't attractive. So, and she's writing, so it's like part-time. She's there when she needs him to be. She doesn't have to be
perfect.
Yeah. So I see that now, like, but I didn't know that at the time. So, but I've been watching him. Was everybody at AWP talking about Molly by Blake Butler?
Molly by Blake Butler. No,
Have
but then again, I haven't. I don't even know what this is. Tell me. What's going on? Molly Broadnack was a poet from Atlanta, and she also taught at some colleges. She was on the very first episode of the Great American Baking Challenge before it got canceled. Okay, with Jeff Foxworthy?
Got canceled during Me Too. Okay. I'm not sure. I didn't see it.
Who's the American coach? Yeah, either way. Okay.
And, well, then Molly, who was kind of popular on Twitter, and Blake Butler's popular on Twitter, Molly committed suicide in March 2020. Mm. And she left a suicide note, and Blake found a note, and then he found her body. And as he was getting ready for her memorial service and looking on her phone, he discovered that not only was she cheating on him, they were married. Not only was she cheating on him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this story. So people were. Okay.
Yeah, they were talking about it? What were they saying?
They were. Okay, so now I see. Okay. I really should spend more time on X, because it is like where these conversations are happening. Okay, and so I know some folks are mad with him for writing about it. Right? Is that the case?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know if he owes her anything, so I don't know. That's right. Okay. I'm caught up. Yeah, people were talking. This is what they were talking about. Okay. Sometimes I feel like painfully out of the loop, but also like never to the point where I will like go look. So like I lived so much of my life in this state of like confusion and like unawareness, but like clearly not enough to like just check.
Which I admire.
So this Molly thing became a debate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. And it was like, because my poetry Twitter was against Blake Butler, and you don't want to make poetry Twitter mad.
Oh, poetry Twitter is scary.
So scary. I used to think, man, I wish I'd been a poet. I don't after seeing poetry on Twitter.
Don't. I
don't.
Sometimes I go to poets and I say, how hard is it to be a poet with poetry Twitter? Like just how do you do it? How do you continue being a poet when poetry Twitter exists?
You have to. This is what has to happen. You have to get canceled. You have to get
Yeah,
canceled, and you
you
will
have
get canceled.
yes,
And you
it's
will.
a matter of time.
And then you have to be able to build an audience with regular people that are mad that someone canceled the thing that they like, in theory.
Correct.
And so you have to be able to then parlay that. And then if you can parlay that, then you'll have an audience that will just support you for the sake of supporting you, and they will buy some of your stuff.
Some. And this is the thing about poetry Twitter that I find so scary, and this could end up getting me in trouble too. It's not making books move. So it's like, it's like toxic, it's a discourse that's like super unforgiving, and on top of all of that, these people are not buying books. So I've got no freaking like tolerance for it. It's too scary. Like, I don't get what's happening over there. Like, they're attacking each other. Everybody's super well dressed, like tastefully homeless looking. I'm sorry, tastefully unhoused looking, and they just aren't buying books. Like, they aren't buying each other's work. So what is I don't know. I just don't get what they're doing over there.
It's a Roman arena.
It is.
What it is.
You'll see these poets. It's like 17,000 followers. You go to Goodreads, 23 reviews. Like, what's happening? Like, what is happening? Like, it doesn't translate into any kind of sale.
If Rachel Custer got shook and she left Twitter. If she hadn't left, she would have the career that, is it Joseph Massey, is that his name, has?
Yeah, and so, like, I think someone once told me, and it's super problematic, potentially, but they were like, if you want to survive getting canceled, don't, like, retreat.
Mm-hmm.
You just, like, stay and keep, like, doing things almost as if you don't see it.
Yes.
And I think there's something to that, because the folks that I see who, like, generate a lot of online ire, and, like, have stuck around afterwards are ones who just kept doing what they were doing already. They just stayed about their business, didn't even, like, engage with it, and they stuck around.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, I'm thinking I'm going to try to copyright it and call it, like, the South Park principle. There's a reason we still let South Park do what South Park does, and people don't even, like, bother to try to cancel it anymore. Like, they just kept doing what they were going to do anyway. And I almost feel like that's, as long as it doesn't involve, like, child pornography, it seems like you can kind of recover from anything. You just keep doing your thing. Like, you'll be fine.
And if you want to do child pornography, just be in the government.
That's what it's like.
Then they'll hide it for you. You'll be fine until you start to reveal who's on your list, and then you commit suicide one day in jail, and the guards aren't there, and the cameras went down.
So strange.
So, right. Not saying anything like that would happen. It would be too fantastic for anyone to believe. But Joseph Massey, Megyn Kelly discovered him.
Okay.
And then he's got, like, that audience, and they'll buy his book, and he'll be on Amazon. He'll be out Ocean Vuong when they on Amazon. But that's what he did one time, when Ocean Vuong and he had a book at the same time.
I see.
Yeah, so that they were really buying that was kind of interesting. So that's interesting. But Molly, I read Molly. It's hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
My money got refunded because they sold out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sold out. And then Miss Unity, I don't know if you know who Miss Unity is yet, but he sent me his copy. Oh, Miss Unity's cool. He's got a book coming out in April.
Okay.
And I can't remember the name of the press, but it's he transitioned and then he detransitioned, and he wrote about that. He lived in like these slums and was doing meth and all of this, and MissUnity.net is his website, and you can read some of the stuff there.
Okay.
And he has a drag persona called Miss Unity, but it says Miss Unity is the drag persona of whatever his name is, and which is Matthias Metzelberg. But he's pretty cool, and he defended Blake Butler on X. Someone who got like 300 likes saying that Molly shouldn't have been written. He said, this is so brave of you to write. Yes, no one should ever write about a famous person if they knew them and loved them and knew them best. That should be off limits. There should be no books about Benjamin Franklin. And
so I looked up Miss Unity, and they look amazing. Who Killed Mabel Frost?
Yeah, that's in the book.
Okay.
Because his name is Mabel. Everybody's named Mabel and Bernard and Dex. So it was Greek. But yeah, so that was. That's how I got Molly. And it was a hard read. Like, it's all paragraphs, like a paragraph and then a space and then another paragraph. And it's not scenes. It's not. There's no indentation, and there's some pictures in it. And Molly probably had borderline personality disorder, and Blake was kind of bad too. There were some things that he did that were bad, and he has a little bit of a redemption arc in the story. And I think that Molly, the last affair that she was having, well, she groomed some of her students. He could see that through her emails. And then
that's right.
Yeah,
people were telling me about the emails. Oh God.
Yeah, she was about to get canceled if she hadn't killed herself. But her last affair, the man turned out to be like, I think she liked to go out with good guys, and then like manipulate them. And I think she thought she got another good guy that she could manipulate, but turned out he was like a user and kept on trying to borrow money from her. And so she was like, leave me alone, like, after having this affair, like going off across the country to see him and stuff. And so it was very interesting. I do think as I was reading it was like disaster porn. Like, oh, I've got to see this. There's drama.
Oh my God.
But that's the feeling of it. But I admire Blake Butler. I like his work ethic. He just works a lot.
Like, this is
typing all my
his 9th book. Right?
Yeah.
Like, so like, I mean, I imagine that he did this pretty artfully. Like, it's I need to get a copy of this book.
It's good, but I think, like, what have I done with my life? I don't even have a book out yet. So, but last weekend I went to go buy the new Dean Koontz book at the Books A Million at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
And as I was walking by the discounted books, there was Alice Knott by Blake Butler for $7.95.
Yeah.
And so I picked it up and I thought, I said, people don't even know that this man is the talk of the town. And here's his book right here for $7.95.
Yeah.
Hardback.
Yes. And that goes back to, like, outside the literary world. Like, is it really changing anything? At Books A Million, like, they could have put a markup on that, Like,
they could have if they knew.
If they knew.
Yep. But he's not on Book Talk either. So
that's right.
And
I'm going to see how far I can. Yeah. I'm going to see how far I can get in my life without having to fully book talk. We'll see.
Well, I hope. I think that you're doing a great thing, and I'm glad you're talking about the books that no one knows, because we can't just all be reading, Colleen Hoover.
Yeah.
I've read a Colleen Hoover book. They're unputdownable, but they're also formulaic.
Right.
and everybody is, she's like the number one. And Dean Koontz. Well, Dean Koontz is now, and Stephen King, they write in ways that no one is telling them to stop. And so it gets harder to read. But I feel relieved because I'm like, oh, thank God it's not a machine. There's not a machine writing it.
Yeah.
And so you got to keep on with that because people need to get used to seeing stuff that's not in a formula.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have any books coming out?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I am working on a book right now that's supposed to come out next year with University Press in Mississippi. So it is called Mr. Miracle, Signifying Self-Emancipation. And so it is like part academic, part personal essay, part art book. But in it, I am talking about one of my favorite superheroes and how the superhero can teach us stuff about freedom and like living your most authentic self. So yeah, I've never written a book like this before. Shout out to the publisher for letting me do it. And we'll see. Like, hopefully it gets me tenure. We'll see.
Do you think is this one different because it's all fiction?
This one is different because, so it's like entirely nonfiction.
Entirely nonfiction, okay.
Yeah, so I'm having to write about this comic book character. And like also I'm going to be talking about like my own issues with depression and post-traumatic stress disorder and my OCD. And how this character has helped me figure some stuff out about myself. So it's nonfiction, but then also because it's like also supposed to be somewhat academic, I have to like contextualize this character. So I'm having to visit libraries and museums and like tell this history of this character since his creation and the 70s. So yeah, it's been interesting. I've had to conduct interviews. I've really never done anything like it, but it's exciting. It's fresh.
That sounds exciting. Yeah, it sounds exciting and fresh. Let me know if you go to a museum in some unusual place, and maybe I'll meet you out there.
Okay, all right, sounds good. When are you going to write a Gloria Naylor book?
Well, I know I did. I went up to her conference, her archives conference, and and people there did not believe that 1996 literally happened.
What do you mean?
I know. They think they were like, oh, she just was metaphorical about being stalked just because of oppression. It's like, no, she said this really happened. She put the court case at the end. Do you think her regular publisher wouldn't publish this? She went to independent black press. Like, it's real. This really happened. But I would try to convince them. And then I actually did send in just a little email to a PhD program at USC, because she used to speak at USC, at University of South Carolina.
Awesome.
But all of her old contacts are gone. But I did, when I was at the conference, this is an email that I sent to somebody in the English department. I said, when I was at Gloria Naylor's Archives conference, there was only 2 papers there that used archival evidence into their papers, which was interesting. No one else did. Then I was sitting around at the end, and I was with Jennifer Williams from Howard University. Do you know her?
No. Jennifer Williams.
She got a shaved head, and she wore all pink, all the same shade of pink. And she was having wine, and I said, just casually, I was kind of just talking out in the air, I said, I just want to know, did Gloria Naylor have a girlfriend? And the reason it kind of was like a question everybody was wondering, but no one would asked the question because we found out Gloria Naylor was married for 10 days.
Interesting.
So, yes, I'd like to do some research on that. Then I just kind of said about the girlfriend, and Jennifer Williams slammed her hand down and she said, yes, so we can get some confirmation on her queerness.
Okay. That's amazing. That's amazing.
So I told all of that to in an email to someone that had contacted if they knew any of the Gloria Naylor's contacts at USC. And I said, is there any interest in the English department for someone researching this? And they didn't write me back yet. But I wouldn't mind.
Though. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of an interesting book. Like, did Gloria Naylor like women? And just do the research. Because she's such an interesting person. You know, she was Jehovah's Witness.
Oh.
And that's how she got to North Carolina.
Really? That's very cool.
Yep.
So, like,
really,
though, I really think you have a book here. And then inserting yourself into it, too. So it's like the reader can follow you on this journey. Like, that's a great book.
Yeah, thank you. I probably will do some more. I've been trying to find if people knew who her psychiatrist was, and I can get in touch with her sister. That would be helpful. But, you know, I think I've already, you know, kind of confirmed that the gang stalking happened. Now there's more things I want to know now. I wish she was still alive. I think that we lost something really great with Gloria Naylor. And I know that we did because there's so much interest after she's gone. And that meant that we had a lot there. And I think that it was her push down was on purpose. I think it was, well, now I know who the deep state is. I used to not know who it was.
Right.
It's the CIA.
Yeah.
Scott Adams has been talking about it openly on his show. And
Gilbert?
Yes, the Gilbert guy. He does a podcast every day, and he and he says that the CIA goes, if you have an organization whose job it is to topple countries, how long before it does that to yours?
I mean, that is just a thoughtful question.
Right.
Yeah. Like, come on.
So I think that's, and also some of the big Twitter accounts, like Rob Reiner has 3 friends in the CIA. And Scott Adams pointed that out, and someone else did, and Scott Adams, you know, pointed it out, talked about it, and he goes, I don't know about Stephen King, but his tweets sound a little bit like Rob Reiner's sometimes. And
oh boy.
Right. And you're gonna go after the people that you can get the message through to the most people.
Right.
And I think the people that they cancel are the ones that buck them or do something that can undermine them, like Woody Allen, who's just, no, I don't want to I just want to spend $10 million on this movie. That's all I want, you know. I just want to film it in 10 days and be done with it. So they can't really use that. And then, you know, Gloria Naylor with her gang stalking book, I mean, they were like, we don't want this out. But all of it, I've gone back and I've read, I've got Bailey's Cafe, I think, because you recommended that one. Yeah. You also recommended Mama Day, which I love. Yeah. And I like it because it's messy.
Yes.
It's a little bit confusing. And,
yes. They're not clean. Like, It is weird,
a workshop.
Because 1990, isn't it strange that 1996 is like, it stays out of print. Like, a lot of her other books, like it reprinted, like her Linden Hills has freaking been reclaimed by Penguin, but 1996 doesn't get republished.
Have you read it yet?
Not yet, but it's sitting here, and I think I'm going to do that next.
Well, it's short and it's beautiful. It takes place in South Carolina. And I got a picture of her archives. Maybe I already sent it to you. She wrote to someone during 1996, and I thought, where's her 1996 letters to people? So I just took a picture and sent it. She also collected a lot of crap. Like she'd collect like Spin magazine, and And the librarian had to be in the room with me while I was looking through her archive. And so I was kind of like just like shading the whole time. I was like, oh, well, I know why she kept this. And it'd be like a man with no shirt on the front cover.
She would have loved you. She would have absolutely loved you. I know what you did. Look at this hot dog shop.
We know what this is about. And also the librarian, the woman in charge of the archives was friends with Gloria Naylor, and she's this little, skinny, older Jewish lady. And she's also going to like divinity school. She might not be Jewish. In my mind, she seems Jewish, like a bowl cut. And she's and everybody just loves her at Sacred Heart. Like that's the one that everybody just loves. Oh, Michelle, isn't she just great? She's great. And I said she seems just like the kind of person that would disagree with the Catholic Church on abortion rights because it's the Catholic university that I was at. just like funny stuff. The guy was like so uncomfortable. Like he was a Generation X librarian, and he was cool. So I was like, I love Generation X. You can say anything to them, but it was just fun. So I was doing that through her whole archives and I was just spending an hour just looking through them. But yeah, Gloria Naylor was cool and tough, and you know, and it just sucks that that happened. But Donnie, I don't want to keep you all day. I've loved talking to you.
Yeah.
And since we're coming up on the end of the show, I get this idea from the Paul Leslie Hour, that podcast that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
He always gives the last question of the show over to the guest so that he can say what's ever on his mind or heart, knowing that it has the potential to reach thousands and thousands of people worldwide. So with that being said, the show is yours.
So I ask a question to you specifically or to the listener?
No, you just say whatever's on your mind or heart. The last question, I just turned over the show. Yeah.
Okay, so with this platform, what's on my mind and heart? What is on my mind and heart? I guess I know that we have a contested election coming up, and I know over the next few months, like, we're going to bicker a little bit, like not even a little bit, a lot. And I know things seem bleak right now. And inflation is crazy and all of these things. There are all these things conspiring to divide us and to make us kill each other. But I do believe we have more in common than we don't. And I know sometimes it can feel like we're at the end, or this is the end. But anyone who can hear this, I just want you to think about this. And I know there could be some pushback, but I do believe collectively as a species, we are doing better than we were 100 years ago by almost every metric. And I know things aren't perfect, but collectively we are getting better. And I think we've got some rounds left. And nothing is so advanced that we can't turn stuff around. So, yeah.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Donnie.
Thank you. Yeah. Love you, Robert.
Love you too. Have a good day.
All right. Bye.